Good morning and welcome to Cincy Lifestyle, the Monday, March 23rd edition. And I want to say good morning to my co-host who's way across the studio.
What's it like out there in California this morning? We are so socially distant that we're in the same studio, but we're across the studio from each other. And you know what, given what's going on, that may not be such a bad idea. Though I do miss you, Mona.
I miss you too, Clyde.
We got quite the show going on for you today. A lot of stuff to talk about. But of course, we have to talk about the elephant in the room, the whole coronavirus situation, the impending lockdown and all of that. Once again, we say that these are serious times, but that doesn't mean we have to abandon our sense of humor, right, Mona?
That's correct, Clyde. We've been laughing.
Yeah, we have. Yeah, we have. You got a dancing video that's coming up.
You know
later?
what? I did. You know what? I have to encourage people to keep dancing, right? Even if you're home alone, right? To get your exercise in. You can't tell because we couldn't air the music, but I was dancing to "It's Raining Men," right? Hallelujah, right? And I was doing the "we," and it was really fun, even if it's all by myself. So you got to keep your exercise routine up.
There you go. There you go. Now, the graphic, to keep kind of that mood going, the graphic that's on the screen right now is from a website we checked where, you know, they have a little fun with it. And what the graphic essentially is a guy in the first frame who looks like he's on a jet on a way to a tropical vacation. And then the second frame is how he faked the photo hilariously with a toilet seat to make it look like he was on vacation. And the caption is something to the effect of, when your vacation is canceled, but you still want to look like you're on vacation.
I love that's getting creative.
It is. It is. And we've actually found a website with several more of those, so we'll be posting those as time goes by.
I love it. Got to have some humor. Yes. Well, here's a question for you. What kind of hobbies do you have? Well, one young man has historically been taking his hobby of photography to the streets. Our Allie Martin had a chance to catch up with them not too long ago to see how and why Brendan Burke is capturing the faces of Cincinnati.
Brendan.
I'm Aftab.
Aftab.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
You too. Okay, cool. So just stand here?
Yeah, perfect right there. Let me make sure everything's on. So I made a wearable softbox. You can see it's just a light stand here attached to my Army surplus backpack frame. And the reason I came up with this is actually because I was here at Fountain Square a few years ago and I got yelled at for having a tripod. And you apparently need a permit. So a lot of photographers, to get around having to use a permit, they'll have an assistant carry their light stand. So I just thought, why not tape it to my back?
Bringing that studio photography look to the street is strictly a hobby for Brendan. By day, he's a software engineer. So on his off hours, you can find him near Fountain Square or Washington Park, shooting urban portraits with his unique lighting setup.
For a lot of people, like photographers are generally the shyer people, and just approaching strangers just kind of gets you out talking to people, and just sometimes it's a little scary, but I mean, it gets easier as I do it more. And I kind of keep it really simple. I just say what I'm doing, like I'm just out here taking street portraits. If there's something I like about the person, I'll just compliment them on that, like, oh, I really like your hat, or I really like your shirt. And sometimes people agree, sometimes they're a little weirded out by this, and they're like, no, that's okay, but...
There it is. Smile with your eyes. Ooh, fucking love. Look at me. Oh, I love that. Oh my God. Where are they going to be posted at? Where are they going to be posted at? Instagram. Ooh, all right.
Brendan posts many of his urban portraits on his Instagram, along with an array of other stunning cityscapes, catching the eyes of many local photographers.
If you get another person who's into photography, they recognize the unique lighting and they're like, oh, that's awesome. And a lot of people will have me send their photo because it's a lot better than like a cell phone picture.
This thing is amazing. Take a look. Frames, duct tape, straps. Oh, that's brilliant. Oh, that's gorgeous.
In January of 2019, world-renowned photographer Nigel Barker hand-selected Brendan as a winner of a photo challenge, inspiring Brendan to continue to shoot and capture spontaneous moments.
Real moments, real people. Like, I had people comment that this kind of setup brings out a lot of smiles in people and positive feelings, as opposed to some street photographers go for the negative side of society. But I like the more positive, and I feel like this helps accomplish that.
If you're like me, chances are you found yourself at home with your school-aged child all day long. So what do you do with them? And how do you make sure they don't fall behind in their schoolwork? Well, we want to help you answer those questions. And right now, I want to welcome Julie Bogart from Westchester. She's the creator and owner of Brave Writer. Julie, thank you for talking to us today. So give us a little history, if you will, on you and on your background.
So I am a veteran home educator. I homeschooled my 5 kids for 17 years. They're all grown adults now. And I run a company called Brave Writer, which teaches writing to tens of thousands of homeschoolers every single year. So we have online classes. I've written 200 pieces of curriculum. I have a popular podcast with over 1.5 million downloads and huge social media following. And I've written a book called The Brave Learner, which is all about how to bring education into the home.
So what do you recommend for parents or caregivers who suddenly have kids at home all the time now?
So one of the things I recommend to parents all the time is create a context that's inviting. One of the ways we do that in my community of Brave Writer homeschoolers is we pair treats and tea and a little bit of a party atmosphere with reading aloud. Let's say you've got a 2nd grader and you're worried about them losing ground with their very early developing math skills. Play board games. They're rolling dice. They're counting squares. They have to calculate the Monopoly money. They will be putting the skills they're trying to learn into practice, but they won't know that's what's happening. And yet you can still be certain and confident that they're growing.
If people want more tips or school materials, how can they find you?
Fabulous question. So my website is bravewriter.com. One of the things we do offer are short-term writing classes that capitalize on all of this. For instance, we have movie discussion clubs. We have a poetry workshop where the whole family participates. We have writing classes for essay level if you have high schoolers that are only 6 weeks long. So go to bravewriter.com. We also have a special page that is for all these suddenly at homeschoolers and even regular homeschoolers. And that is found at bravewriter.com/homebound. All kinds of free resources, downloads, videos to watch of me. I have a podcast and a YouTube channel if you need more support. And you can follow me on Instagram at Julie Brave Writer. I am offering daily support there for all of you. Welcome to the fold. We're excited to support all these brand new to homeschoolers. And we know it's not necessarily long-term. We just want to be here for you in the pinch.
All right, Julie, thank you so much for talking with us.
I Am Chelsea is a singer that lives in New York, but craves Skyline chili from her home city of Cincinnati. She played at the Bunbury Music Festival last year and spoke with Emily Reiser Smith about the inspiration behind her song, Nice Guys Lie. Take a listen.
Feel good till it don't feel good no more. Good vibe to the good vibe is the flow. State of complacency, not where I wanna be. Make a decision, cause I am not with the guessing and wishing.
Do you ever feel like you're kind of vulnerable when you get up and you're kind of telling your own stories?
Extremely vulnerable, yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Has that been challenging for you, or?
It depends on the day.
Okay.
I would say. But it's more rewarding.
Okay.
Especially when like I do it and I'll perform, and then people are like, "Oh, this reminds me of something I was going through." I once had a girl who had just lost her grandmother a few days ago, and we sort of cried together.
Yeah. So you are often compared, not only in your songwriting, but in your vocal styles. You've been compared, I've seen, to Tracy Chapman, Keisha Cole. What are some of the kind of big influences that you look at as a musician?
As a musician, I would say Stevie Wonder.
Oh, okay, that's cool.
He has a great way of like taking words and like really talking about something serious.
Yeah.
But he makes it fun
and memorable. Yeah.
Exactly. Mary J. Blige as well. So.
Beautiful. You're performing and living in New York, as we talked about, but you're from Cincinnati. Is there anything you miss about Cincinnati?
Skyline chili.
Skyline chili. That's a great answer.
Yeah, I mean, Skyline, La Rosa's.
Yeah.
I don't know, just like being near my family.
New Yorkers might be really upset that you just said a Cincinnati pizza is better than New York pizza. But you know, that's okay. I appreciate the honesty, the transparency. It's good. Anything else kind of on the horizon that you're excited about?
I'm currently on the tour. I just released a single called Nice Guys Lie.
That's a good one.
Thanks.
Yeah. Again, very relatable, I think, for all the women in the room. Yeah.
Well, I mean, fellas, ladies lie too, but
that's true.
Yeah. You know, I'm just talking about me.
Yeah.
I'm just on tour and just recording.
Just gonna keep creating, keep putting out there. Awesome.
But I lost that round. You thought it was enough to give me bits and pieces. I call feelings, and I messed up, and it's all my fault. 'Cause nice guys lie, waste your time. Listen when I tell ya, only wanna fool ya. Nice guys try, say goodbye, but keep you in the cuts when they wanna. Nice guys lie, yeah, 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 yeah. Lie, yeah, 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 yeah. Lie, yeah, 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 yeah. Lie, yeah, 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 yeah.
Great song, Emily. Thanks for that report. Now, coming up here on Cincy Lifestyle, we meet a local author teaching kids about disabilities. Her book is called When Charley Met Emma, and it talks about how being different is okay. We'll ask her about the inspiration behind her book and where you can pick it up. Plus, you might want to pay close attention to this hobby. The Cincinnati Miniature Society shows us some of the intricate work they do and tells us how you can get involved from home. All that and a whole lot more coming your way in just a few minutes. Teaching your children compassion and empathy, not only for themselves but for others, are important life lessons. So, how do you talk with your kids about disabilities, kindness, and the way to behave when they meet someone who's different from them? Well, one local author has found a way, and we are glad to introduce to you now Amy Webb. She is the author behind When Charley Met Emma. So thank you so much, Amy, for being here with us.
Thank you so much for having me.
So basically, what's the story here?
So the story centers around a little boy named Charlie, who sometimes feels different himself, as we all do. But he goes to the park one day and he meets this girl named Emma who's really different from him. She doesn't have a hand, so her arms stop above the elbows, and she's in a wheelchair. And it just sort of he's trying to navigate through the situation with his mom. His mom helps him and steps in, and it's a great primer for kids to learn about disability, as well as helping parents and caregivers learn how to navigate that situation.
So what was the inspiration for this?
So I have 3 beautiful daughters, and my middle daughter actually is the character that Emma is based off of. So she's very similar in her disability. She drives a wheelchair. She has limb differences, which is the term we use. So it's just an experience we've had many times in our life.
So part of the story is that when people see Emma, they tend to see the disabilities, but not the real Emma, right?
Right. Actually, my daughter's name isn't Emma, but is based off of her. But yes, exactly. And especially young children, they just don't know what to think. They just have never seen anyone like her, which is a big part of why I made this book, is because it's all about education and representation. Because if this book can live on the same, on the shelves of children who have, cats and hats and hungry caterpillars, it becomes familiar. And so when they see someone out in the world like my daughter, it's not so unfamiliar to them. And then they say, oh yeah, I've seen a girl like her.
But as you and I discussed earlier, this is also helpful for adults as well.
It is, yeah. We've seen, again, kids say something, you know, they might say, whoa, why does she not have hands? Or what happened to that girl, Mom? And they say it out of their innocence and curiosity. And sometimes it's really hard for parents to know what to do at that point. And a lot of times the natural inclination of a parent is to want to like shush their child and walk away because they just think that's the polite thing to do. And so this book really helps parents understand, like, it's okay if your kid has questions. Let's stay and build that bridge of friendship instead of those walls of isolation. Because just, you know, walking away from that situation just naturally kind of tells a kid, oh, they're other, and we don't build friendships with them. So we want to build those friendships.
So to help people understand more, when your daughter is confronted with those kinds of reactions and those curiosities, how does she deal with that, and what does she want to happen?
You know, so she has, it's interesting because most of her life I've been with her, right? And so we've helped kids navigate that situation. For her, it depends. She understands that kids are curious and they'll ask questions. She just wants to like answer their questions and just move on as fast as possible.
Sure.
And kids usually do too. That's the amazing thing is once you know, to speak to their curiosity and educate them, they're like, okay, let's play.
Okay.
You know?
All right. So where can people find this book who are interested in learning about this story, but also learning about the necessary conversations that arise from it?
Sure, yeah. So you can get it on Amazon, of course, and then also barnesandnoble.com, and I would encourage people to reach out to their local booksellers as well.
All right. Amy Webb, thank you so much for being here and sharing this really wonderful and really powerful story, and for bringing your family here as well.
Thank you so much.
All right. Thanks. Mona?
Well, they're intricate, they're delicate, and they're amazing. I'm talking about miniatures. These works of art range from period room boxes to log cabins to fairy wonderlands to full-size dollhouses. And you've got to see these. I am super excited and want to welcome Linda DeGroot from the Miniature Society of Cincinnati. Linda, thank you for being here.
Well, thank you for having me.
Man, this is amazing. We are all amazed at what you brought with us, but even before you talk about this, tell us about the Miniature Society. I had no idea we had one.
Well, the Miniature Society of Cincinnati was actually started in 1975, so it's been around for 44 years. So sometimes we'll work on learning a new skill. We actually made little miniature cupcakes at one of our meetings. At another one, we learned how to make pleated curtains, such that the same type that I put into my bakery.
Well, let's take a look at some of the things you brought today. I'm looking at this. It is really intricate detail. And how do you all even get started on something like this?
Well, I started with a dollhouse. I was making a dollhouse for my daughter, and we were making several trips to the miniature store, and I was just fascinated with everything that they had. I like period pieces, and they're so interesting. So I helped her finish that. I got my log cabin, and then I actually landscaped all around the log cabin, so you can actually go into landscaping and doing flower arrangements. It's a lot of fun. If anybody who's interested can come, and some of the miniaturists have been in the club for all 44 years, so they're very experienced and they're always willing to help.
Well, I mean, these, there are some little, you don't miss detail. Detail's really important to you guys so that it looks really authentic. Right. Even with this bunk bed set, you've got two little pillows and a little airplane down there.
Yes.
And over here, I just wanted to point out too about you have a little couple with a picnic basket as well. Where's the couple with the picnic basket? Oh, they're right here. That have a little with little fruit and everything. And some of the stuff is made with paper, but it doesn't look like paper.
That's right. The little hosta plants were made with paper. This bunk bed set was actually, our club is actually affiliated with NAME. It's the National Association of Miniature Enthusiasts. So that the national organization sponsors a project every year, and all miniaturists across the country get together on the first Saturday of October. This was one of the projects that we work on.
Well, this is amazing. So can you tell us just one more time quickly where people can get more information?
Oh yes, we have a website. It's Cincy, CINCY-miniatures.org.
It sounds like fun and fascinating. Linda, thank you so much for coming on the show. Clyde, you got to see these things. It's amazing.
Absolutely fascinating, Mona. Thanks a lot. We'll be back with more Cincy Lifestyle on the other side of the break. By the way, be sure to check us out on Facebook. That's where you'll find that we post all our guest segments and community stories for you to watch and share with your friends. So like and follow us now at facebook.com/Cincy facebook.com/Cincy Lifestyle. Stick around and be right back. And if you're under the sound of my voice, that's what Cincinnati looks like right now. The sky's a little cloudy. Supposedly, it's going to lighten up just a little bit today. Rain will taper off for a little bit. Not a bad day for staying indoors. There'll be a lot of that coming up here in the next few weeks. So we invite you to keep checking in with us because we're going to be right here.
We are going to be right here, Clyde. And coming up tomorrow, in fact, here on Cincy Lifestyle, we've got a great life lesson to teach kids while you're at home. Cooking. Yes, that's right. We'll talk to a mother who is teaching her small kids knife skills and watching their culinary dreams flourish.
And on top of that, we'll tell you about a fun way to spread kindness while maintaining social distancing. We'll talk to the founder of Northern Kentucky Hidden Rocks about how a simple message is turning into a huge following. We'll have all that and a whole lot more happening tomorrow on Cincy Lifestyle. By the way, if you're at home and watching us, hit us on Facebook and let us know what you're doing to pass the time. Let us know how you're drawing your family together. Tell us what social distancing is like for you.
That's right. So excited about that. And we want to hear from you. Right. All the ways to hear. You know all the ways. We don't have to tell you again. So thank you so much for joining us today. We will be here tomorrow.
And as a good friend of mine all the way out in California, on the other side of the studio says, make it a great day.
Thanks for watching our video. If you liked what you saw, hit that subscribe button. You can also check out full episodes of the show you've never seen before or watch your favorites again and again. And as always, make it a great day.